Meredith, because after him, we also saw Rizzo go deep. We saw Soto go deep. We saw a really balanced Yankee offense. 7 of the starters had base hits, and they supported Clark Schmidt, who was able to pitch into the 6th inning. Didn't really get over that hump of going to 3rd time through the order, but he still got the win. And as we said on the pregame, these are the kinds of games that through the Yankees you're supposed to win, and they did.
And you look at some other guys that had been struggling a little bit at the plate, like Austin Wells and Gleyber Torres. They're contributing as well.
Yeah, and Austin Wells with a savvy bunt to end an 0 for 23 streak. Gleyber Torres finally getting a hit late in the game. And you want all of your offensive contributors to be having terrific games. And I think this is the kind of game where Aaron Boone is going to be happy about what he saw from his offense, because what you just mentioned, Meredith, sure, the 3 homers deserve to get the big headlines, but we saw a lot of good at-bats from the Yankees. One of the guys who didn't have any hits was Verdugo, yet he had 2 walks and a sacrifice fly. Only guy in the lineup who didn't have a hit tonight was Oswaldo Cabrera, but obviously he's been a heavy contributor all season.
Well, let's break it all down for those of you who didn't see the entire game. Here are the highlights presented by Ford, and we will start things off in the top of the 1st inning. First batter of the game, Clark Schmidt on the mound for the Yankees. And he catches a Ryan Noda line drive right there. Anthony Volpe scoreless after the top of the 1st inning. Then we get to Aaron Judge and the home run that almost never was, Jack Curry.
Yeah, runner on first. Judge is at the plate. We're going to go pitch by pitch here. So it's a 97-mile-per-hour fastball that he tips, so it's strike 1. We talked about Boyle having that big fastball, comes back with it and misses low. 3rd pitch of the at-bat, Boyle's going to throw a fastball again. Judge is going to foul that off. Now here's the controversial pitch. 4th pitch of the at-bat. As Boyle throws it, you hear an umpire yell, balk. It's strike 3. Judge is walking out of the batter's box until he realizes that 3rd base umpire, John Tompane, called a balk on Boyle. You see by Boyle's reaction, he's not too happy, but guess what? Next pitch, another out. That was the one that was the balk. Then the outside fastball. We see Judge go the other way. Gives the Yankees that early 2-0 lead. Talk about the difference between 2 pitches. One that didn't count because it was a balk, and then the one that counted a lot, Meredith, because it put the Yankees on the scoreboard.
Man, Boyle just must be shaking his head on that one. He almost had number 99 out, but it was not to be. Now, Jack, you already mentioned this. Austin Wells bunting there in the bottom of the 4th. That right there would snap an 0 for 23 skid. Man, has to feel good to get on first base for Austin Wells. And his teammates like Verdugo are loving it.
Next batter is Anthony Volpe, and he's going to take advantage of this Butler misplay. If you're Butler, you've got to stay in front of that baseball. When he does it and it rolls all the way to the wall, the Yankees are off to the races. Wells is going to score, and Volpe is going to cruise into 3rd with a stand-up triple. First of the year, it's 3-0 Yanks.
And then Juan Soto, so good with situational hitting right here. Sac fly would score Anthony Volpe from 3rd base. So now the Yankees are up 4-0.
Anthony Rizzo is going to step to the plate. He's facing a lefty in Michael Kelly. Actually a righty in Michael Kelly, and it's a sweeper, and Rizzo takes it out for the 2nd straight night. He hits a home run, boosts the Yankee lead to 5-0.
Let's take things now to the top of the 6th. As you can see, Clark Schmidt still on the mound. We got runners on 2nd and 3rd and 1 out. And right there, a 3-run homer for Brent Rooker. We're going to dive more into this in just a little bit, Jack. A great night for Clark Schmidt, and right there, the frustration you can see. He had been flawless until the 6th inning. That cuts the Yankees' lead to 5-3.
A couple of batters later, Luke Weaver, who is the long man out of the bullpen, he comes in, strikes out Abraham Toro, gets out of the inning, and Meredith, the Yankees still clinging to that 5-3 lead.
And we'll go to the bottom of the 6th. First 2 men go down before Juan Soto hits his 6th home run of the season. Jack, I don't know if you've heard this, but he's pretty good at baseball.
That was a fastball up in the zone. Soto tattooed it. He's going to take his time getting around the bases, and this is not the first time I will say this, but it is the first time Soto and Judge have both homered in a game, helping the Yankees to that 7-3 win.
Something tells me we are going to hear that a lot this season. And hey, the Yankees now 1-0 when Soto and Judge homer in a game. There's a look at the game summary. Clark Schmidt, 5 1/3, 3 runs on 4 hits, 2 walks, and 6 strikeouts. Picks up a win. And also You can see Judge, Rizzo, and Soto, as you mentioned, home runs for all of those guys. Nice day to be the hitting coach in James Rousen.
Yeah, the Yankees win when they hit the ball out of the ballpark. They've shown this year that they have other ways to win, but getting that early lead, I think, was so important. And there's going to be a lot of post-game discussion about what happened in that first inning. But when the call goes your way, as it did for the Yankees, you've got to seize that opportunity. You've got to take advantage of it. Boyle, a young pitcher on the mound, making only his 8th career start. He was ready to exhale, Meredith. He thought he was out of that inning. He just struck out Aaron Judge, or at least had put Judge back in the dugout. And then, of course, Judge takes the next pitch out of the ballpark. We've seen Rizzo now on successive nights have really good at-bats, and he's starting to build towards something. And then, as you mentioned, Soto just continues to be Superman out there for the Yankees with everything he's doing.
You mentioned Boyle for the A's. Clark Schmidt got the ball to start this one, as we know, for the Yankees. 5 1/3 for him, and really not a lot of traffic on base until that 6th inning, Jack.
Yeah, it's a hurdle that he's going to have to overcome. So we put that to the side for a second and say Clark Schmidt's got elite stuff. He's got swing and miss stuff. He goes out there in the way that he sequences his pitching, sinker, curveball, cutter. He has really grown and learned as a pitcher. The next thing that he needs to do is give the Yankees a little more distance. We talked about it on the pregame. It's that third time through the order. It's post 75 pitches. What do you do when you get in those spots? Jeff Nelson, who has pitched at the major league level, wondered about a confidence issue or a mental block. Well, tonight Clark Schmidt gets to smile. He got the win, but do you know, as a competitor, he wants to be able to say, hey, I pushed that aside and I figured out a way to get the third time through the order.
You feel like there's more in the tank for Clark Schmidt. However, overall this season, you have to be encouraged by what you've seen from him.
Very much encouraged. I think the Yankees did a really smart thing with Clark Schmidt last year in that when he struggled, they left him in the rotation. They let him struggle at the beginning of the season. He was learning a new pitch with the cutter. They wanted to let him learn at the major league level. And Meredith, I think they're reaping the benefits of that right now. You know what you're getting with Clark Schmidt. You know you're going to get a very competitive pitcher who's got pitches that are going to get him a lot of swings and miss and a lot of outs. And what he's also shown is when he gets into some trouble in those early innings, he can figure out a way to get through it.
Well, we're going to hear from Clark Schmidt later in the show. For now, we're going to take a quick step aside. Yankees win this one in the Bronx 7-4 over the A's. And when we get back, we are going to hear from the manager, Aaron Boone. 7-3, I should add, Jack. I gave him an extra run.